Welcome to
Midnight Circle.
From your friends at House of Whimsical Terror.
A chat about curious topics.
And this week's topic is curious cons and imaginary things.
Yes. Because perhaps one of the scariest thoughts is getting conned into something and losing.
Oh, yeah.
It's a pretty scary thought. It may be the money that you lose, or it may be property, or in more extreme cases, yourself. There is, throughout history, and up into the present day, impressive con jobs happening. We dug up some interesting stories from the past to share with you. Ready?
I am ready.
Okay, well, this first one, of course, that appeals to me because there's Caribbean coastline in it.
Of course.
And, I'm a diver.
Yes, she's a diver.
In the early 1800s, there was a man named Gregor MacGregor who had a map of a Scottish colony called Poyet. Poyet was located between Nicaragua and Honduras and boasted miles of Caribbean coastline. Poyet was 800 million acres by itself. And Mr. MacGregor was heard to say, as he took investors' money for a bond and a piece of land, that he himself came upon the area while he was in the British Army. And the people there made him the cacique, or the leader of the country.
Oh, yeah, as they do.
That's right. Yes. From its timber-filled mountains to its azure shores, streams filled with gold, and people that loved the Brits, which I love that too. Poyet was the place to be. So MacGregor had every last detail available for anyone who had a question. There were military uniforms, and he had guidebooks, and even currency that could be exchanged for British pounds. This guy went all out.
Oh, he did. He did it up. Yep.
Yeah.
So clever.
Right? So at one point, he had ships full of people aspiring to relocate. And the only catch was that Poyet only existed in MacGregor's mind.
Of course.
Yeah. So the ship, the actual ship, the Edinburgh Castle, set sail with these guidebooks and 250 souls bound for their new home across the ocean. And these folks spent 2 years wandering the terrain looking for Poyet, and only 40 of them returned.
Oh my God.
Right?
That's crazy.
Right. So they declared that they just couldn't find it despite the guidebook, the 40 that returned. The British courts, however, were not convinced, and MacGregor left for Paris. And there, he raised another hundreds of thousands of pounds, from investors in Poyet.
Oh, this imaginary, non-existent.
Yeah, he just kept bilking people. But he ended up leaving Paris when the courts came after him for fraud in 1826. After all his successful cons, he actually did die a rich man in Caracas, despite the many folks that he killed and betrayed. Sad.
No horrible. Justice there.
No, horrible.
That's aggravating. Horrible. So he gets to be rich on other people's backs after he conned the heck out of them.
Right.
And left them to wander aimlessly after they'd given him all their money.
Buyer beware.
Yep, buyer beware.
That's right.
It's a sucker born every minute.
And some of these frauds and cons are just so remarkably elaborate, like this guy, MacGregor.
Mm-hmm.
And our next story.
Yeah, so we just came back from our southern...
The New Mexico
road trip, which was really fun.
It was amazing. New Mexico is an amazing place.
Yes, and I'm really lucky because Mary is a great planner of trips. And
thank you very much.
We got to so many places and did so many things.
Oh, we stayed in the coolest place.
We did. We stayed in the
Bear Mountain Lodge.
And the people here.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
They were just amazing. They were amazing.
And the food was so cool. Breakfast, they had everything for us. So
Silver
we
City,
will go
New
back
Mexico,
there.
That's the place to stay.
Silver City, which is also a great place.
Absolutely. Great, great town.
But here in Arizona, we have a con man to call our own.
Mm-hmm.
The Baron of Arizona, a.k.a. Jim Rivas, once claimed he owned Arizona.
Yeah.
Jim was once a Confederate soldier who had honed his con craft by falsifying stock orders and selling the goods for profit and forging passes for his fellow recruits to make a buck. So he was all around just a con artist.
Very experienced.
In small ways and big ways.
Yeah.
Eventually, he changed sides, but military life just wasn't for him. So after the war, he ended up in St. Louis and met a man named George Willing. In 1871, Mr. Willing was a physician and a prospector who sold patent medicines, or snake oil, as it is more commonly known.
Imagine that. Right? We have an episode on that,
We
too.
sure do. We have the snake oil episode.
We're not missing a beat.
No, we're not. So George told Rivas about a land grant in Arizona that was owned by Michael Peralta, that he had purchased from him mules and gold dust.
Yeah, he purchased a land grant for mules and gold dust. Is that not the Wild West?
Totally. Rivas was working as a real estate agent, and Willing needed help to certify the deed of transfer. After all, it had occurred at a mining site near Black Canyon outside Prescott, Arizona, and all they had to write the deed was a pencil and greasy camp paper.
Yeah, pretty awful. And, Black Canyon's pretty fabulous, though. They actually have great pie.
Oh, do they? Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a little place along the way that you can stop and get really great pie.
Really great pie.
Forgot about that.
That's right.
I used to stop there on the way back from Prescott.
That's right.
Now it makes me want to go there and get some pie.
So this guy, Willing, so he traded his mules and his gold dust for a piece of paper that gave him a land grant. That's where we're at.
Right. And no notary was around, so George had a couple of witnesses and now needed it to be made official. Rivas took some time to study up on Spanish land grants and formed a partnership with Willing to promote mining claims on the land. In 1974, George Willing...
1874.
Oh.
1874. Sorry. That's my...
that's me. Sorry. 1874. I know, I thought, wait a minute. When did this happen? George Willing filed his claim on the Peralta Grant land grant at Yavapai County Courthouse. The next day, he was found dead. At the time, Rivas was in San Francisco and received a letter from the sheriff that Willing was dead. He had found Rivas' address among George's papers. Rivas had been working as a journalist and learned about public land commission that approved the validity of Spanish and Mexican land grants. Rivas intended to have his new sole ownership of the Peralta grant claimed valid for himself.
It makes you wonder, right, if maybe he might have made George Willing the unfortunate victim of a con. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And a killing.
Yep. So Rivas found that the likely fraudulent land grant Willing had paid for was not defined by any boundaries.
Right.
So Rivas picked a few measurements that basically was in line with most all of Arizona territory, the Silver King mine, and a part of the South Pacific Railroad.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Might as well. Boundaries.
Right.
Rivas got his land grant confirmed and examined the record book for Mission San Javier del Bac, which led him to Guadalajara and Mexico City. While there, he researched the Peralta land grant, and Rivas hatched a plan to reveal the ownership belonging to an heiress named Doña Sofia Peralta. This is so complex.
It is. It's a super complex con.
Yes. In actuality, the heiress was a 16-year-old girl, and Rivas had told her she was the heiress to the Peralta fortune.
So he created this entire thing and found this so poor little girl.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He married her and put her in a convent school to learn the manners of a highborn lady. Rivas created a history for the Peralta land grant with his well-honed forgery skills. He had family trees, maps, and biographies and secret government missions to find silver in what would become the territory of Arizona, culminating in a Peralta who was granted land by the King of Spain, or the Peralta land grant, as it came to be known.
Yeah, so this guy went to Guadalajara, he went to Mexico State, he went poured over all of these documents and created this entire history.
This is crazy.
It's outrageous.
So, most importantly, it bestowed the land upon his son, but the son could not be found. So Sophia became the owner, the Baroness Peralta, making Rivas the Baron of Arizona.
Uh-huh.
Soon Rivas, or the Baron, had sold many investment opportunities in Arizona for development, millions of dollars worth, in fact. He owned homes in several cities and hobnobbed with powerful men of the country. Yet, the new surveyor for the Arizona Territory, Royal Johnson, doubted, yes, Royal Johnson. Right. Sounds like he's going to be someone who's going to make some justice happen.
That's right.
Doubted the validity of the Peralta claim and reviewed the land grant paperwork for indications of fraud. Johnson found what he suspected. Such things as documents written with steel-nibbed pins, not quills, printing styles inconsistent with the time period, and no records of a Peralta grant in the Spanish archives. Right. Not to mention grammatical and spelling errors. Go figure. They can't spell. They got no grammar.
Yeah.
Highly atypical of the royal court in Spain. After years of litigation, the forger and con man was convicted. Yay.
Yes.
The Doña divorced him, and Rivas eventually died. He was buried in a pauper's grave in Denver, Colorado in 1914. Yay.
Yeah.
In the 1950 movie, The Baron of Arizona, Vincent Price portrays Rivas in the title role. That
right.
is
Isn't that great?
Yes.
Yeah. So there it is. Some very elaborate cons and the lengths in which people are willing to go.
And the people will believe so many.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So naive. Okay. So we hope you enjoyed these tales of curious occurrences. And we leave you with a warning. If it sounds too good to be true, it very well may be.
Probably.
Until next time. Thanks for listening.